Hi guys, welcome to this video. So this is my first video on my project I'm doing for Killteam. So when Killteam first came out, I was a little bit unsure as to whether I wanted to get into it. I couldn't quite make my mind up on what I wanted to do. The main reason for that is because if you follow the channel for a while, you know I do Dark Eldar, and specifically Dark Eldar Coven. And GW decided that they didn't want to include Dark Eldar Coven, which is one of the main 3 troop types for the Dark Eldar. No idea why. Maybe because the box that they sell is ridiculously expensive. Maybe. And so a little time has passed and I've been really uninterested. I've played a few games and while I enjoyed them I couldn't really get into it. And then I was having a little bit of a think, and again, if you've followed the channel for a while, you know that one of my all-time loves, especially in 40k, is orcs and scratch building and that sort of thing. And I was thinking about the idea of Gretchin. Now, on Gorkamorka, there's the idea of the Gretchin Revolutionary Committee, which is a group of Gretchin, or Grots, that rebel against their orcs sort of masters and form a little rebellion. And so that got the juices flowing, and then I was thinking, oh, is it possible to do a Gretchin army? That could be pretty cool. You could have loads of these little Gretchin hiding behind buildings, shooting their pistols, because they're a little bit better at shooting than orcs. So I had a little bit of a look into it, found out that you can't actually run a full kill team of Gretchin. The main reason for that is it's limited at 20 models, and 20 Gretchin equals 60 points. And most kill team games are run at 100. So I was stuck, and then I was thinking, well, then I need to run some orcs, and the best way of running orcs, especially if you're going to do a Gretchin Revolutionary Army, is to do some counts as stuff. So try and make a Gretchin into an orc, and that got the juices flowing on the styrene front. And today I wanted to show you guys what I came up with. So I'm just going to switch now to the other camera if I can. There we go. And this is basically what I decided on here. So at the front here are a bunch of little Gretchin. Just move those out of the way. They're all plain Jane. And this is what I decided to go with. Little runt bots. Now, the idea being here is that I always like the idea of killer cans. I really like the orky look of them. And I've gone for the same sort of aesthetic, but on a much smaller scale. Just to give you an idea of scale, here's an orc knob, with his arm off. And this is basically, sorry it's so dark, the camera has to be set dark in order to pick up all the details of the white on the styrene. So that gives you an idea of the size of this thing. Of course, this guy is missing his arms. I'll show you some of the arms in a moment. And they're not that far off in terms of scale once you've got it all built up. The legs, of course, are a lot wider, but the actual scale of the thing is fairly on point. Now, these are going to be used to represent any orcs that I decide to, basically. They could be normal boys, they could be commandos, looters, burners, boss knobs, and all the spanner options for that as well. So this here is the first one I came up with. I basically chose a little Gretchin that had his arm out to one side. I built this main sort of bucket body here, and I was thinking, ooh, I could have that arm. I think that arm was holding a pistol. I could have it pulling a lever. So then I came up with this idea of having the lever here. Now I knew I wanted to have 2 sort of cylinders on the side here to accommodate arms, and then 2 cylinders further down to accommodate the little legs on the side. Here's an example of what that looks like in its most basic form. This is the 4th one that I am making, which is also the final one for Killteam. And so I put these little levers on top here, and the idea being that they're pulling these little levers to move the legs, whether they are mechanical or whether there's a series of belts or chains inside that actually physically move the legs. I haven't decided yet. That would be pretty cool, right? If they're pulling these backwards and forwards and that sort of swings the legs as well. And then to operate the arms, we've got this series of levers in front here that will move the arms around, fire the guns, that sort of thing. Maybe I need some buttons off to the side as well. So this is the most complete one that I've done. I was waiting for some styrene rod to arrive and tubing, so I could do some kind of exhausts if I do decide to make them mechanical. And then, of course, there's a lot of detail that needs to be added to the front there, and across the bottom as well. Well, that there is the sort of start of the first one. Then I went on to do a second one, much in the same vein. This one's slightly taller, but exactly the same style. So he's got these things going on. This guy was holding a mace of some sort, so I've actually managed to incorporate the mace to be one of the levers, because it had exactly the same styling, which was pretty cool. He's got a little pistol he's holding on to. This one's slightly taller than the other one. He's got longer legs as well, just to give it a bit of variation. And they're a little bit R2-D2-ish, but until I put the arms on, of course. And you can see here the sort of way that the legs are put together. This is a girder, and then there's two little plates with a rod through, and that allows the foot to swing. I haven't decided again if I want to have some kind of pistons on the front or back of that. And then the actual movement of the leg is all on this central rod that runs through, or probably halfway. And then again another girder that's on. So it's really simple, using a lot of the styrene stock assets. So let me there we are. That's a much better focus, isn't it? And that's basically how the the basic grunt bots or grunt cans go. Again, I've shown you this one here. This guy here was holding two pistols, so that gives me the opportunity to have two levers on here and have him looking pretty awesome. I haven't decided if he's going to have legs or if he's going to look like this guy. I'm not sure if I should keep this guy with his little tracks to be unique, and then I can run him as my my leader if I want to. But he's got these cool little tracks. Again, detail needs to be added to all these things to make it look a little bit better. I need to add some detail on the inside of there, because the tracks are sort of just mounted on a little girder, and there's nothing on the other side, which is a bit weird. And of course there's probably some detailing needs to be done under there. This guy, however, because he's on the tracks, I decided to go for this lever system on the front here. The idea being that if he pushes this lever forwards, this track moves. He pushes that one forwards, this track moves. I really like the look that gives. I think it's quite a cool aesthetic, and it fits in with old tanks and the idea of sort of controlling the tracks based on two big old levers. So that's the general aesthetic of that guy, and he looks pretty cool. I think he's probably my favourite, so I'm a bit torn as to what to do with this guy on that front. Now, let's go on to the arms. So I've only made two arms at the moment, and the two arms I've made aren't compatible with each other, because the models that can take a big shooter, which is what this is here, so doing this on camera is a bit awkward, that fits in like that, and I've tried to make it look like there's a bit of a hinge thing going on there, just so you can get the idea that it moves around. I need to put some sort of magnetization in the sockets as well to make them fit in okay, and I've gone for a little claw. Now I could have used a stock claw, because I do actually have one, but I quite like the blunt look of that one. It's got a very stumpy look to it, and that's basically how the how the little runt cans will look from there. I haven't sort of settled on a name for them yet. Now, if you want to, you can suggest a name for these little guys down in the comments, and we'll see if we can come up with a really cool one. There we go. And again, I think that'll look pretty cool when it's got a load of detail on it and painted up. Oh, there we go. I keep dropping these guys, and amazingly I haven't lost any of these levers yet, which are rather dodgily glued on. I'm also not sure if this arm is up to scratch either. The idea being that it pivots inside the body on that part there, and then this part here has got a sort of elbow that'll swing it in and out, and then of course you've got the claw itself, which is all mounted on that there. I'm not sure if I need some sort of piston system there, whether that'll be going too far, but it does look pretty cool. I mean, these again can fit on any of the models that I've made. Yeah. No. Although until I get magnets to fit these in properly, they are quite dodgy to get an idea of how they look. There we go. So that one will look something like that. Gives quite a cool appearance, and once they've got all the stuff on the back of them, they'll look a bit more balanced as well. There we go. That's it really. I think that's basically all I wanted to cover in this video. really excited to be doing orc stuff again, and it's rekindled my love of scratch building these little guys. Yeah, just really looking forward to getting them done, and it's also a really good subject to do videos on as well. You can see how these guys progress all the way through to painting, like I used to do with my Gorkamorka stuff. If you're into this sort of thing and you want to see some more scratch builds of all sorts of stuff, head on to my library, my video library. Go to playlists. I think there's a Gorkamorka playlist of all sorts of things in there. So that'll be pretty cool. Right, if you live in the Derby, sort of East Midlands area of the UK, you can head over to Boards and Swords. They are located close to the middle of Derby. They've got fantastic facilities for playing war games in store. I think they've got 40 6x4s and a series of tables for cards and board games as well. Or if you just want to buy things on their web store, you can head over to their website and hit that voucher code there. That'll get an extra 5% off. I'll get my words out eventually. Right, keep up with me in between videos over here, where I'll be putting up updates of these guys before I make videos, so you can get a little bit of a sneaky peek before I then go on to talk about the ethos and just ramble about them basically, and a video at a later date. Right, I guess that's everything. Thank you very much for watching. Excuse me, subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Stay well, guys.